Hey! Does anyone know what the name of that song is? I don't think anyone does. It's just, what is it? Who is it by? I am Samuel Nathaniel Cahn. Welcome to the Cahn Solo Podcast. With me, my co-host Stu. So this is a special episode for a couple of reasons. Reason number one is this is the first episode since sharing that I have a podcast. So if you're watching this, weird, right? If you're watching this and this is the first episode, you don't have to go back and watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and like catch up on anything. There's not a theme here. We're just doing what we want, and whatever happens ends up happening, which is part of the fun of this podcast. There's no niche. We don't have a niche. I don't recommend going back and watching all of them because it was a rough start. Lots of problems, and I'm getting better. And I think that the reason that I wanted to share this is because a lot of the things that we're going to be doing are eventually going to become dated. And my plan was to share this on my birthday in April, like as an April Fool thing, like, haha, I have a podcast. I don't know why that's a prank, but whatever. But then I was thinking, by the time April rolls around, I might have like 30 episodes or whatever, and that's too much. That's too overwhelming. So I thought, all right, we're just going to release this New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, whenever this gets done. I'm doing this all by myself, so the editing might take a while. I'm getting better at it, but alas, here we are. We have a podcast. If you didn't watch any of the other episodes, just to summarize, Kanye West sucks. The podcast is not about Star Wars at all. I just thought it was clever. Cahn Solo. I can't remember what the other episodes were about. That's how much fun we have here. There's nothing deep about it. It's just in the ear, out the other. If you want to listen to this while you're driving to work and I'm like the ASMR for you, I'll be that person. At the roundabout, take a fucking left. Thing number 2, if you have been watching since the beginning, you'll notice that Stu's chair came. Stu didn't have a chair for the first 5 episodes. He just sat on the table like a heathen. But I got him this little chair. It has little pillows on it that you can put on the couch. The only thing is I measured him and then I saw the dimensions of the couch and I thought it would work, but he is much too big for this couch. So we'll have to get him a better couch, but in the meantime, he's got a place to sit and do the podcast. So that was nice. I'm glad that this came, and he has a place to sit, and he fits. I think it looks very nice. Thing number 3 is we have a sponsor. We got a sponsor. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was like a scam email or whatever, but I checked it out. It's a legit company. This is a sponsored episode, and I have to do the ad in the middle. It's part of the contract. I'm not allowed to do it at the beginning for some reason. And thing number 4, you know how when your teacher makes a goof in class and just is like, whatever, we're gonna watch a movie again because I screwed up. That's what I did. It is Friday night, and I recorded an episode on Wednesday night, and it was about Mr. Andrew Tate. And unfortunately, I screwed up and I recorded on the camera at 30 frames per second. And on the computer, which I have on the floor, because I don't have any space, I'm recording this in my kitchen. On the computer, which I have the microphone hooked up to, it was recording at 60 frames per second, which they don't work. So the sound, it didn't work. It wasn't salvageable. So because of that, we're going to repeat last episodes and do a little Am I the Asshole? Because that was a lot of fun, and it was nice to have a prompt to stick to, and that's what I want to do. So that's what we're going to do. I don't want to talk about this guy too much because he sucks as a person, but basically he's a 36-year-old ex-kickboxer. He's not an MMA fighter, as I learned from his weird little fans that attacked me the last couple of days. He decided to unprompted tweet at 19-year-old Greta Thunberg, the activist who is trying to save the world. She's talking about climate change, and he basically tweeted at her that he has all these Bugattis and Lamborghinis, and they're polluting the earth, and what are you gonna do about it? And then she replied, you can email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com. Twitter blew up, and then 10 hours later, Andrew posted this weird 2-minute video of him in a bathrobe smoking a cigar in this room, and then he had pizza boxes brought out to him, and then he bragged that he wasn't going to recycle them for some reason, because, like, fuck Mother Earth. Like, he didn't even have a point. He was just, like, angry, like, well, how about this? How come your email address has the name small penis at Get a Life? Why is that your email address? Tell me that. And also, all the likes that you have were from bots. There were bots that liked that post. I don't think that you have that many people that liked that post. Interesting. Anyway, that was the first video that I saw of him. And up until I saw that video, based off of people talking about him, I thought he was doing a character, like he was doing a bit, because the things that I heard about him, they were outrageous. They were like super villain shit. And it was like, dude, you came across as a douchebag, and the 19-year-old activist replied it was funny, and now you're making this video and you look even stupider. When you have to go into detail why someone's insult didn't work, but it did, you lost. Naturally, I found it hilarious, so I made a little TikTok about it. And then Andrew Tate's army kind of came after me, which was a lot of fun. They're kind of like this with the MAGA crew, because there's nothing that you can use. You can't talk to them. Everything with these people is either conspiracy, or you need to do your research, which I never understood, because we all have the same internet. What is the research you're getting that is different from everybody else? I've recently seen clips of Andrew talking about how women are property and they shouldn't be driving and all this wonderful stuff. But when you present that to these people, it's, oh, you're taking it out of context. You need to watch the whole thing. And it's like, what part of what he's saying is going to make any sense later on? Unless at the very end he's like, by the way, this has been a social experiment, and I don't believe any of this stuff. I was just joking around and seeing who would believe it and follow me. No, he's just talking about this stuff, and impressionable, sad men are latching onto this. And they're like, yeah, he's right. He's totally right. He's a G. He's a legend. He's a top G legend. Andrew Tate, bro. And it's like, what is the thing you're agreeing with, though? Do you really think that? Look, he has a course on his website. It's like, I think it's called Hustler University, and you sign up and you learn how to make money and get women. That's what you needed. That's what you need in life. And depression and mental health clinics aren't real. You just got to work out, and you got to like be a man. And I saw a clip of him talking about if he had a kid who was a nerd, he or his child needed to die. What? Little Andy, I understand that you like to play chess. Is that true? Come here, I'm going to slit your throat. It's funny I use chess as the example because I learned that his father was a chess player. That's what he did. That's what he was. Anyway, it was funny because they were all calling me soy boy and beta cuck, because I think we should respect women. Oh, get a load of the soy boy beta cuck. Oh, you think women should be allowed out of the kitchen? Soy boy. I always found that funny because they always say, oh, you look like a soy boy. But I feel like I kind of have like a conservative face. Like I kind of look like Matt Walsh, I've been told. It's the beard and glasses. I know it stops there, but I don't know how this is like, you have a beard and glasses, you're a soy boy beta cuck. Also, according to that logic, wouldn't having a big beard be masculine as hell? Why are you shaving your face with a razor, little baby boy? You soy boy with your big beard, beta cuck. Your glasses too? What is that? Glasses and a beard? Soy beta boy cuck? Soy beta beta cuck boy? Anyway, they have exactly 2 insults, and it's always those 2, which is, come up with something else. Like, I've been losing my hair for like 10 years, and I don't like touching newspaper. Make fun of that. Do that. I don't know. I just can't figure out why people, not just Andrew Tate, but like why they defend these people so hard. Like, what did Andrew Tate do for you where you're like, yeah, look at this soy boy. Yeah, Andrew Tate. What did he do for you? I'm sorry, he thinks you're an idiot. He knows you're an idiot, and you are an idiot because you're riding for this guy who is spewing terrible things. And what are you gaining from it? You want to feel a part of something. I get that, but this is a bad dude to latch onto. He's being investigated for human trafficking. And before you're like, oh, well, that hasn't been confirmed yet. The thing is attached to him. This isn't a one-time thing. It's attached to this guy. You know what's not attached to me? Human trafficking. You know how I avoid that? I don't like talk about owning women and stuff. There's not a trail that's leading to me. This guy is just doing it publicly. And you can't keep excusing the behavior. He's not a good guy. So just real quick, one of the arguments that I had with this brain dead guy was that I watched a clip, the clip I'm about to play, and I used that as the reference. And then the guy was like, well, it's taken out of context. But the whole clip, Andrew is very, very clear about what he's saying. Andrew Tate talks about women.
But females, let me get my wording correct here. Female.
He's got to light a cigar because that's badass.
Are barely sentient. Even the good ones. In fact, especially the good ones. You're a good female. You grow up, you listen to your father. So you're about a teenager. Then once you're a teenager, you start watching the Disney Channel and Netflix. Then you listen to society. You start to break the rules, be a bit of a rebel. Now you listen to society. And the point is, when I say barely sentient, is that the female's entire life process from head to toe, she never really thinks for herself.
Females are barely sentient. How do you go like, well, you gotta listen to the whole thing? No, he's a piece of shit. There's not any point he's gonna make that justifies what he just said. So even at the end, when he goes into his point about females not being sentient again, he doesn't change what he said in the beginning. He just confirms that he thinks that they're less. So that was all I wanted to say about Andrew Tate. If time travel were possible, I would go back in time to the moment that Mommy and Daddy Tate were about to make Andrew. And I would show Mommy a video of Andrew. And I would hope that she would reconsider getting it on with Daddy Tate, but instead would his of so that society no I would hope that she would his and it out onto the wall of their seedy hotel so that the only remnants of Andrew would be cleaned up by a maid and we wouldn't have to endure his existence today. Moving on to Am I the Asshole? Stu, will you hand me that pen? I need to write something down real quick. Where the heck is all the paper? Oh, I know. We can get some off of paper.com. Paper.com, where you can get all the paper that you need. Paper with the 3 holes in it, construction paper, colored paper, little baby sticky notes paper, big, large poster board paper, all the paper that you want at paper.com. Use our special code, promo code CONSOLOPOD, and get 20% off of all your paper needs. You can order 1 piece of paper, you can order 5 pieces of paper, you can order a billion pieces of paper if you want. However many, there's no limit. If you got the money, you got the paper. If you got the cash, you got the paper. So go over to paper.com and promo code CONSOLOPOD, 50% off, and that's paper.com. Thanks for sponsoring us, Paper. All right, so am I the asshole? I actually the last episode I changed it to antagonist because I thought I wasn't going to cuss very much on the podcast, but that went out the fucking window. So I think I'm just going to go with asshole because also I wasn't consistent. I was saying, "Oh, am I the antagonist?" but then I would say asshole a few seconds later. So, am I the asshole? So I didn't read all of these. I just skimmed through and I saw like which ones were kind of short. So hopefully I picked some good ones. And yeah, we're going to go through that. And then that's it. Time for bed. We're all done. This is the whole episode. That's all. It's going to be great. Am I the asshole for leaving my in-laws' Christmas dinner after I found out that they didn't make accommodations for me? I got invited to my fiance's family Christmas celebratory dinner. It's my first Christmas with them. I have always been picky about what I eat. Can't help it, and it has to do with psychological factors, childhood, and personal likes and dislikes. Before accepting their invite, I let fiance's mother-in-law know that I wouldn't be eating the traditional food at their celebration and showed her a variety of dishes to choose from to accommodate me. I don't like where this is going. She refused and told me to bring my own dish. I said if I had to bring my own dish when I'm a guest, then I better stay at home then. We went back and forth and I insisted I wouldn't come if accommodations weren't being made. I just thought it was a simple request and fiance's mother-in-law could have agreed if she really wanted me there. My fiance agreed that I should bring my own dish, but I didn't. When we arrived there and I saw that no accommodations were made, I got up, got my things, and walked out and went home. My fiance, FMIL, I guess that stands for future mother-in-law. My future mother-in-law and fiance were shocked. I got tons of calls and texts from them both, and my fiance came home lashing out, calling me selfish and spoiled to walk out like that over a dish that his mom didn't have to make for me, and it was my responsibility to feed myself. How is it my responsibility to feed myself when I'm a guest? Makes no sense to me. I told him this and he accused me of starting shit and ruining my first Christmas with his family and disrespecting his mom. Now he's continually saying I fucked up and should have sucked it up for the family's sake. You are the asshole. Unless you're allergic to something or you're a vegetarian, but even if you're a vegetarian, like you should bring your own stuff because why should they make you a special plate? Ultimately, it's the host who gets to decide. And the host could have been like, yeah, sure, I'll make you a little something. But the host decided they didn't want to do that. And you have to go with that. I'm sorry. You're automatically in the wrong when you go against the host. Now, of course, the host could be unreasonable and demand something crazy or whatever, but that's not what was happening. They were like, I'm going to make this food. That's the food that's going to be here. If you don't like it or whatever, you can bring your own. It's okay. And even if they didn't eat the food, you can just eat later on. Like, you're not going to starve. I don't think you were fasting all day. Like, just wait till you get home. You can skip a dinner. I'm sure that the dinner wasn't like 9 hours. It's just like a little Christmas dinner. Have some cookies or something. But you can put something in your stomach. You're not going to starve. When my family used to all be able to get together for Thanksgiving, my cousin was a vegetarian. And she always brought her own lasagna because she knew that there was going to be turkey and all this stuff. And she was like, well, I'm not going to eat that. I like lasagna. I'm going to bring my own dish and I will have the lasagna. And that's how the problem was fixed. All right, so it looks like I'm right, of course. You're the asshole. You don't dictate what your host cooks. You're the asshole. As someone who is picky, you were invited to join them for dinner. They're under no obligation to make an entirely different meal for you. You're the asshole. They did offer to accommodate you by allowing you to bring your own dish, and you didn't. So you're the asshole. Moving on. Number 2, we're going to do 5 of these. Am I the asshole for not waking my husband up and causing him to miss his flight to attend Christmas with his family? My husband, 33, Al, is the only son in his family. He's spoiled as fuck by his mom and 3 sisters. The way I see it, they treat him like royals, call him heir, gift him expensive stuff. Prince level treatment. I didn't have an issue with it at first since they consider it showing love and appreciation. But I used to get into a lot of arguments with his mom and sisters about not making efforts to treat him the way they treat him. Basically, they claim I'm not showing the same level of respect they show him, and because of that, I got disinvited from lots of events, including Christmas. Al's stance is to stay out of it, and when I complained about his family disinviting me from Christmas, he said he could not force them to have guests they didn't want. On the morning of his flight, he slept in and didn't wake up on time. He woke up freaking out and yelling about me being petty and not waking him up before his flight after he asked me to. The reason I didn't wake him up was because I myself was asleep. Why would I wake up early just to wake him up? His phone was away since he hates sleeping with electronics nearby. He left in a rush and tried to get on another flight but failed due to airports being packed. As a result, he missed Christmas celebration with his family. His mom and sisters are pissed, claiming I did this to get back at them and to isolate him from them. Al thinks I acted petty and vicious when I could have woke him up to go be with his family. He's still mad and is claiming that I ruined the holidays for him. Break up with this guy right now. Now. This is what? Why are you with this guy? This is awful. You're not the asshole at all. That whole family is the assholes, and they're weird too. First of all, can I just say, if you're with somebody and their family just doesn't like you and they side with the family, they're not the one. And then he's 33, and I can't figure out how you could be mad at someone else for not waking you up unless you go to bed or you sleep on the couch and you're like, hey babe, I'm gonna take a quick nap or I'm gonna go to sleep. Can you make sure that I'm awake? And if there's an agreement beforehand, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be up. Sure, I'll wake you up. Of course I'll wake you up. But it sounds like they just went to bed because she was sleeping and he just missed the flight. And then also, how are you not sleeping with what if your sisters or your mom needed you? What are you gonna do about that? How do you, as a husband, even if you were just a boyfriend, how do you leave your wife to go spend time with your family during Christmas because she's not invited to go? Like, I don't understand how you think that's okay. And then for the wife, for this young lady, like, oh, what are you in this for? This sounds terrible. He's 33. I have to assume maybe you're 25 to 35. You're old enough to understand this is not a bueno situation. Divorce. Yeah, everyone's agreeing. Not the asshole. Adults are responsible for getting themselves out of bed. The fact you had to type that was amazing. Not the asshole. You're not his servant. Yeah, God. Ugh, what an easy one. Yay, I'm 2 for 2. Number 3, am I the asshole for not sharing some of my sunscreen with my boyfriend? My boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 22 male, went to the beach on 12/25. As it is common here, it happened to be a sunny day, so you could get a sunburn if you didn't take some self-care measures. Both my parents are dermatologists, so my siblings and I are very aware of the importance of protecting your skin from sunburn and having a proper skincare routine. My boyfriend, on the other hand, doesn't give a shit about his skin. No matter how much my parents have tried to convince him to wear sunscreen, he has never done it. When we got to the beach, I started putting on my sunscreen and he asked me to share some with him, but I refused to share since it wouldn't make sense to take care of your skin just once because he isn't doing it again. Plus, my sunscreen is the one I wear on a daily basis. It's meant to be personal. What? He got mad at me. I told him to wear a hoodie so he could minimize sunburns, but he refused. Long story short, he got sunburns. My boyfriend's skin was so red and felt hot to the touch, and it was painful for him. He called me an asshole for not sharing with him. He says he hasn't forgiven me yet because it hurts and the sunburn hasn't faded. My dad has seen him to get sunburn relief. My dad calls me the asshole because sharing some with him doesn't cost anything, but my mom says that this is a lesson for my boyfriend since this is his own fault. My mom had gifted him a sunscreen, but he decides not to use it. All right, so this one, you're the asshole, your boyfriend's a dumbass. I'm a little confused why the boyfriend is like, oh, I don't care about my skin. I'm not going to wear sunscreen. But then when you go to the beach this one time, he's like, can I have some sunscreen? What? But the fact remains, you knew you were going to be at the beach. Your parents are dermatologists, so you understand the importance of this. I don't know. You've been asking him to wear sunscreen, and then when he wants to wear sunscreen, you're like, no. Why are you denying him the sunscreen now? And then what's the lesson you're teaching him? He knows he's about to get sunburned. That's why he asked for the sunscreen. The lesson is that, what is the lesson? You're going to make him get sunburned, and then it sounds like he had to go see your dad. What's the lesson? Okay, you're the asshole. Basically said exactly what I just said. You've been begging him to change and start using sunscreen. He finally does and asks for some, and then you shut him down. Yeah. All right, I've been trying to find at least one not the asshole, but I haven't been able to. Yeah, unless there was only enough for one, there's no reason to not have done this. Yeah, denying sunscreen, there's no reason for it. Yeah, so you're the asshole. 3 for 3. Stu, I gotta say, we're pretty good at this asshole stuff. All right, am I the asshole for forgiving my sister's debt as a Christmas gift? My sister has owed me $200 for about a year. I'd remind her about it every month or two, and she'd say she'll pay me soon, but never did. I pretty much gave up hope she'd ever pay it back, so this Christmas, instead of wrapping a gift, I simply told her my gift is she doesn't have to pay me back anymore. She was actually insulted by it and claims I just used it as an excuse to not have to put any thought into an actual gift, and she insists she was still planning on paying me back. When? My mom agrees with her and says that isn't an actual gift and that I embarrassed her. Alright, so here's the thing. If I owed a debt and somebody told me I didn't have to pay it back anymore, I'd be stoked. And a whole year is a long time to be dodging that. I feel like if my sibling kept asking me it, I would just be like, you know what, here, I'm gonna do, 200? We'll just say over 10 months, so it's easy math. $20 a month for 10 months. That's so doable, and that should have been done. And the thing is, it all ends up getting sorted out. If he bought her a gift and say it was $100, now she has this $100 gift and she still owes the $200 debt. Sister is the asshole. I wouldn't call her an asshole. I would say she's inconsiderate. Asshole seems a little harsh for this situation. I feel like the previous people were assholes. She's just inconsiderate. Not the asshole. Of course, she would rather have a nice gift and still owe you the money forever. Yeah, it sounds like she wasn't gonna pay you back. It's been a whole year. A year is a long time. Not the asshole. You got her a big present. $200 is huge. Absolutely agree. This girl should be totally thankful. I'm surprised the mom took the sister's side, because if I have 2 kids and one of them let the other one borrow a large sum of money and then wasn't getting it paid back, I would hound the daughter and be like, hey, pay them back. Like, what are you doing to my other kid? Parents shouldn't be taking sides like that. They should be a fair judge. And a fair judge would be like this. Like, if this was Judge Judy, I think she would be like, that's a fair thing. You don't get a gift this year. Your gift is that the $200 goes back. And that's fair. Judge Judy. All right, last one. We are 4 for 4 here. Am I the asshole for not giving my late husband's things to his parents? I, 23 male, met my late husband in middle school and we eventually got married. I pursued my master's degree while he built up a very successful business and ended up selling it for a lot of money. $10 million? 10M? Wow. Around last year, we found out he had a terminal illness and he ended up passing away. He ended up drafting a will where I got everything except a few $1,000s that were given to his parents. My in-laws found out I got everything and asked me for the things. I said no. Then they started pestering me for everything. The house, money, property, his belongings, etc. The things my in-laws want are very sentimental to me as they belong to my late husband. They kept guilt-tripping me and trying to manipulate me. On top of that, I don't think my husband would have wanted them to have much, as nearing the end of his life, his parents never visited him and often made homophobic remarks. I don't think I even need to keep going. I think they were expecting they would get all the money and didn't need to act nice to leech off him anymore. I don't think I'm being unreasonable, but my friends and his family are berating me for being entitled and leeching off him, calling me names and saying that I only married him for money and everything. I'm feeling very stressed out and don't know what to do. You are not the asshole. Your friends are the assholes and the in-laws are. Why are your friends thinking that you were leeching off of him? Unless you told them that, like, yeah, I'm getting, yeah, he's got $10 million and I am in fact leeching off of him. Unless you said that, then yeah, they would be like, yeah, you're leeching off of him. But if you loved this guy, it sounds like you did. You were with him since middle school, and what? But that's not the point. The point is the in-laws, and the in-laws are the assholes. Especially, how do you make homophobic remarks? I'd cut them the fuck off. I would never talk to them again. There's no reason to. Why would you want to hang out with them if they were making remarks like that, and then also near the end of his life, they weren't visiting him? That's your husband. That's your husband, dude. You guys are, that's you two. When you're with your spouse, and your spouse is the love of your life, and especially if they're decent and good to you and you love them, and when your family that you grew up with, when they're the unreasonable ones, you don't side with them. That's not what you do, especially when you love your spouse. You can't make excuses like, oh yeah, my brother, he just doesn't like black people. You can't do that kind of thing. You have to be like, oh, well then, it sounds like you think that he's still a good person, and I'm black, so bye. Why are you... They're bad people. Blood is thicker than water, or the opposite. Water's thinner than blood. Then you're... I'm doing it backward. When you say blood is thicker than water, you mean stick with your family. So this would not apply. This is the opposite. Fuck the blood. Be with the water. Yeah. So yeah, you're not the asshole at all. And I am sorry that you lost your husband, and it's nice that he left you, looks like, a lot of money, so it sounds like you're set. Don't talk to the parents anymore. You don't have to. I don't think legally they can get anything off of you. And it sounds like your husband purposely left them a few $1,000s. He wrote a will. When you write your will, that's what you want. If you want to leave them dog shit, that's what they get. So I don't understand why the in-laws are like, well, yeah, well, we want some more, because that's not what your son left. Sorry. And the critics agree. Not the asshole. Your husband willed his possessions and assets as he chose to. Yeah, no. Not the asshole. Spouse trumps everyone else. And the other thing is, it sounds like he probably, the terminal illness, it could have come on quick, but it sounds like he was alive long enough to do all this stuff, to write the will and everything. So it's not like he was in an accident where it was kind of up in the air like, whoa, what do we do? This was like, no, I know I'm dying, and I want to leave my husband all this stuff because I love him. He's my hubby. Not the asshole, you need new friends and to get away from his family. Yeah, again, the friend thing, that is a weird one. Why are they calling you a leech? Especially after he died. For you to say that, like, if you want to say that while someone's alive, like, yeah, you're kind of a leech, you know? Your husband is making all this money, like, you're kind of a leech. But for them to be a widow and then be like, yeah, you are totally a leech. Like, I just lost the love of my life. I'm a widow, and that's very traumatic. And now the people that I rely on for emotional support are saying, you leech. Anyway, that was it. Thank you very much for watching. If this was the first episode you saw, I hope that I didn't do that bad where you're like, I never want to listen to this guy again. I hope that it's more like, maybe I'll try again, see if he doesn't whiff too bad. I would give this episode a 6 out of 10, 6.5 maybe. I don't know. I'll get there. I'll eventually do a really good episode that I'm like really proud of. But until then, I'm gonna stumble a little bit. We've been pretty good about doing this every Friday or Saturday, so hopefully the next episode will be next Friday or Saturday. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you to our sponsor, Paper. Remember, if you need to get paper, go to paper.com, use the promo code CAHN and get 50% off. All kinds of paper any paper that you need, paper that you write on, paper that you draw on, paper that you crumple up, paper that you take little tiny pieces and put them in your mouth and make a little spitball, paper that you make a paper airplane if you want. You could do whatever the possibilities are endless with paper. Paper.com, CAHN. Stu, is there anything that you would like to add? I couldn't have said it better myself. Anyway, pick up your dog poop and return your shopping carts to the cart return when you're done. We love you and see you next week.